What can we do so that we could become strong in our immune system, facing bacteria, facing viruses, facing inflammation, cancer, cardiovascular disease, fatty liver, metabolic syndrome, mitochondria dysfunction, toxicity? What can we do? Why I'm gonna do this video is because I've been posting in media some videos about magnesium, about toxicity, about ozone, about supernutrition, about high doses of vitamin C, about the cobalamin, about nutrients, micronutrients. And one of the common things that everybody goes is like, how much is it? So I want to make a few points, and I'm going to tell you what can you do so that you could make yourself more strong, more resistant to all these things that we are going to be facing, and still we are facing today from every point of view. And this is with a lot of love and appreciation that I'm doing this to all my students, to a few of my patients, all right? And I really hope that you learn and that you appreciate the point of view that this person is telling you so that you could make a better judgment in your health span. There is a difference between health span and life span. The medicine that we have today don't deal with health span. It only deals with life span. It means that yes, you could live longer, but without quality of life. That's not what I want you to see. I want you to see quality of life, health span, that you live good or with better quality. For what it's worth, that you get to 70, 80, 90, and you cannot even eat, you cannot even talk, you cannot even do exercise, you cannot even make love, you cannot even walk with your nephew, with your grandkids, with your wife, with your husband, that you have so much pain that you cannot really even get up, that you have always a problem that comes with age. That's what I want to tell you. And I want you to think about this, of the things that we already know that could make your health span and mine way better. I hope you like it. Now, as always, I always give references. Now, the last post that I did in YouTube was about glutathione, which is the most potent antioxidant that we have. There is something bigger than that, and I'm going to explain that to you later on. But I want you to know that everything that I'm giving you always is based on scientific evidence, clinical scientific evidence. All right? Here we go. All right, guys. Now, what you see here to my left is a mitochondria. A mitochondria is where all the energy is being produced. Now, let me make a parenthesis here. This is going for Frank. This is going for Anthony. My man, Aidan. Your body, my body, once we eat protein, carbohydrates, fat, your normal nutrition daily that you and I eat, in the mitochondria, everything is broken down so that we could absorb the molecules the way we're supposed to absorb it, to do something that is known as cellular respiration. Cellular respiration, which means that without oxygen and without nutrient, you and I, we cannot live. we will die. Now, when we are really talking about the process of creating adenosine triphosphate, ATP, energy, we have to think about this form. You see here it says A. An E on top means an electron. It has a negative charge. It doesn't mean it's bad or good. It's just an electron that surrounds the orbit of any given atom. All right? Now, when for some reason that electron is moving or taking away, that ion, that atom that lost the electron, it becomes oxidized. Means oxidation, no good. And the other ion, in this case, that was reduced, in this case, it could also be good, but it could also be not good. So if, for example, your cell loses an electron, now your cell is not stable, is unbalanced, and then the chances of your DNA, of molecules, of nutrients, of amino acids, of tissue, of any given cell, any given organ will not be functionally properly or will not be working as it's supposed to. Now, guess what? Let me explain something to you. Under normal condition, that mitochondria, one cell, only one cell, in the process of breaking down everything we eat to make ATP energy, it makes 10 billion free radicals. Let's go back again. Every time your body breaks food to produce energy, only one cell produces 10 billions free radicals, like hydrogen peroxide, superoxide, hydroxy radicals. And guess what? There are three causes of death in the United States. Do you know which are they? I'm going to tell you. Number one, cardiovascular diseases, heart attack, stroke. Number two, cancer. You know what you're going to miss in number three? In what I made my thesis on medical errors, medical malpractice. Yes. So the three common causes of death in the United States are: number one, cardiovascular disease; number two, cancer; and number three, medical malpractice, medical errors. And then why I mentioned this to Anthony, for example? Because Anthony, great guy, he is alive because of the grace of God. He's a veteran. He went to fight for us, for Americans, for the United States. Okay, and in the process, he got bombarded by radiation, multiple cancers. He is a living legend and a living miracle. I don't know how he is alive still today, based on all the medical condition and all the things that he has gone through. But I want to make a point. Sometimes, on the normal condition, once again, only one cell makes 10 billions of free radicals. Now, just think about this. If you have 50 trillion cells and you multiply that by 10 billion free radicals, do you know how many free radicals are you producing every single day? Do the calculation, do the math. 50 trillions times 10 billion. That would equal 150 sextillion. That means 150 plus 7 zeros that you and I make every day under normal circumstances. Every time you eat, when you wake up, every day we make 150 sextillion of free radicals. Now, how your body will fix that? If we know that all these free radicals are the number one causes of cardiovascular diseases, cancer, metabolic syndrome, mitochondrial dysfunction, meaning that the mitochondria is not working properly, that all of your cells are not working properly. What can we do about it? Follow me. Okay, so let's first start with this. Adam, Anthony, when you are born with something that we call it the innate immune system. The innate immune system is very powerful. Okay, why is so powerful? Well, because it produces a specific, let's call it substance, all right? It's called interferons. And that, as the name suggests, is interfere with every process, with every antigen, with every pathogen, with every organ that goes into your body and my body, and that it actually tries to invade and get us sick. You get that from mommy. So you use what we call macrophages, we use what we call dendritic cells, or we use what we call our immune system, defense. As we are born, that innate immune system is super strong. But as we get older, it gets weak. And when I say weak, I mean weak. Why? Because we stop producing interferon, we start producing enzymes. They call, just to mention a few, granulysin or perforin or gram-sine A, gram-sine B, that they love to destroy. They produce things to destroy viruses. Okay, now, but today, okay, we have a lot of problem. We are exposed to things that damage your mitochondria, that damage your immune system, so that it cannot or it will not produce enough interferon. Interferon, IFM. IFN, interferon. That is basically what interfere with many invaders in your body. So can you do something to help the innate immune system, what you are born with? Of course you can. What you have to do? You have to make your bone marrow, you have to make every cell that has a nucleus, you have to make your skeletal muscles that have mitochondria strong enough, free of those free radicals that will indicate or will stimulate an inflammatory process. But let's remember that when you have a fever, it's your innate immune system that actually make it so that your macrophages, these things that you see here, all of them, this is made for your body to recognize an invader and produce substances to kill it, to break it apart, to defend you. Once again, that is the innate immune system. So, do you want to help your innate immune system? Of course. How you do that? Well, if we already know that your mitochondria are not working good, effective, because of metals, toxins, they won't be able to function. Glutathione that the liver makes, if the liver is full of toxin, if the hepatocytes or the liver cells are not working properly, therefore they will not be making enough of glutathione. If there is a genetic disease, a genetic structure that because of the environmental toxins of all the nutrients that are really bombarded with a lot of toxins and more metals, okay, they will not be working completely efficiently the way they're supposed to. So one of the things that help the innate immune system is what? Is your food, is your nutrients, your detoxification process, the one that we could help with very good exposure to the sun, yes, to the ultraviolet light irradiation. Just 10-15 minutes every day. You don't have to see a light. It could be cloudy, and in the morning you still receive the UVB that will stimulate something more powerful than glutathione. You know what is that? Melatonin. What? Melatonin. Yes, I know that many people think that melatonin is only dealing with making you fall asleep. No, melatonin is the more powerful cooling system that every cell has, and it's stimulated by ultraviolet. So every day, at least 15 minutes, you're exposed to the sun, you will be making more or something more stronger than glutathione, melatonin, and it's for free. You don't have to pay for that. What is reactive oxygen species? Let me explain this to you from what people still think, that there is no more COVID-19. Yes, it has decreased, but still we have between 2 to 4% of mortality in the United States every week of COVID-19. Right? Now let's talk about this so that you see the implication of the viruses and reactive oxygen species and your immune system. Now we have something that is called angiotensin 2. It's a pro-oxidant. That angiotensin 2, once it gets into a receptor, it's called angiotensin converting enzyme. That will convert that into angiotensin 1,7, which is an antioxidant. That's great. That's what we want. We don't want nothing that is pro-oxidation, that causes damage. We don't want that. We want something that decreases the damage. Now, we want a pro-oxidant when we have an invasion of a bacteria, so that pro-oxidant, like hydrogen peroxide, will destroy that organism up to a point. With regulation, with organization, and with proper timing, your cell could do that. But then when you get the SARS-CoV-2, you know what happened? The SARS-CoV-2 invade and block the enzyme, angiotensin converting enzyme, and when that happens, we cannot no longer change what it was pro-oxidant, which is good for oxidation, meaning bad for you and me, to an antioxidant, angiotensin 1,7. So when that happens, a molecule of oxygen, if it gets another electron, now it is becoming a reactive oxygen species that we call it superoxide. If we get another electron into that oxygen, and by the way, neutrophils produce these substances that will kill bacteria, like hydrogen peroxide. Now, if we get another electron into that oxygen, hydrogen peroxide, now we get a hydroxy radical. And all of that is going to be increasing all the pro-oxidation process, meaning that besides those 156 trillion free radicals that your body makes just on nutrition when you eat every day, now because we have an invader, a virus, or an inflammation or an infection, we have an increase in reactive oxygen species. And what's going to happen with the antioxidant is going to decrease. That means that you're going to have a load full of oxidation, full of free radicals, which are not good. Now, guess what? God, our God, if you don't believe in God, you got issues. You have to believe in a creator. this body, it was created too perfect. Now check this out. In your body, we have a few systems that will decrease all these free radicals. Yes, yes. And when we're talking about that this is one system, catalase. Catalase will, that electron that got into an oxygen that now becomes a superoxide, will change it into water and CO2. And that water, is harmless. And now the CO2, you will throw it out through your mouth, through exhalation, through your respiration, to breathing. But guess what? If you don't have enough iron, this enzyme will not be reactive, will not work. Don't worry, God thought of it. And he said, you know what? If catalase don't work, I'm going to give you another system that is called superoxide dismutase, that will again take all these free radicals and convert that into water and CO2. CO2 will breathe it out, and water, we need it. It's harmless. But guess what? If you are deficiency in manganese, in zinc, in copper, these SOD, superoxide dismutase, will not be able to work. You see that? If we are deficiency in minerals. So when you see a doctor tells you that, don't worry, you could take any minerals without knowing what you need. Don't take vitamins, that's nothing. He's changed that doctor. Okay? Now, let's say that yes, we are full of all this. We are low in manganese, in zinc, and copper. The superoxide dismutase cannot activate this process. Now we have another one, which is called what? Glutathione. Yes, the most potent antioxidant, glutathione. But guess what? If you are deficiency in selenium, glutathione cannot be cannot do the job of getting rid of all these free radicals. But hold on a second. There is an enzyme that will convert the oxidized glutathione into the reduced glutathione, which is the one we want. Guess what? We need NADPH in order to use NADP+, so that we could make that glutathione, and that cycle get rid of all these free radicals. But if you are bombarded by lead, that almost everybody is, by mercury, copper, cadmium, they all block that enzyme by just oxidation, by just being to these metals. That's not even talking if you have a genetic deficiency with all these enzymes. So you see, your body has what it takes. He has catalase, he has superoxide dismutase, he has glutathione. But if your whole body is full of toxins, metals, if your mitochondria is not working, how are they going to do the function? And that is why everything that I've mentioned to you does really help you into getting rid of. Remember that there are three main causes of death. Cardiovascular disease, all promoted by reactive oxygen species, free radicals. Cancer, all promoted by reactive oxygen species. And medical malpractice. So, proper nutrition, proper air, fresh air, oxygen, not in the city, is all polluted. In the farm, yes, where we have a lot of plantation, vegetables, that's where you want to be. So, just to make a review, based on science, SARS-CoV-2, it will downgrade that receptor site that will reduce the pro-oxidant and make it as an antioxidant, AT17. And when that happens, the pro-oxidant angiotensin 2 will increase the reactive oxygen species. What's going to happen there in relationship to your heart, to your brain, to your eyes, to every cell of your body? We're going to have an endothelial cell dysfunction, the lining of the cells. the lining of the blood vessels. What's going to happen? We're going to have an increase in von Willebrand factor, which is something that promotes what? Blood clot, thrombosis. Yes. So when we see all this, and we are only talking about coronavirus, SARS-CoV-2, there are so many types of corona. People think that coronavirus just came now. No, we have coronavirus in fishes, in fish, in animals, in chicken, in bird, in everything that you could possibly think. Your cat, your dog, there is coronaviruses. So, and those are the ones we know, and we don't really know all the viruses that are surrounding us. What we know is that viruses not always kill you. We know that viruses sometimes are there to protect you, and bacteria. And that is the reason why you and I will need to eat properly, better nutrients, to do what? To keep our immune system, the innate and the adaptive, so strong that even if any pathogen, any viruses, any invader come to you, yes, it may make you sick, but your immune system will destroy that. Anyway, I hope you guys have learned something, and please write something to me, make comments, okay? And if you don't want to make no comments, don't make it. It's okay. Take it easy anyway. I love you guys. Behave. Bye. See you. Subscribe. Call me. Write me. See you soon.